I'm waiting. Oh, yeah, it says we're live now. Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 289. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else the gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for all things firearms related. In this show, we will be discussing Freedom Flag slide review, some Staccato pistol, a CZ shotgun, and a garden gun. And tonight on the podcast, we have Zane, Tony, and Cody. And he is here because he is Sean Fisher's favorite fan. And since Sean's never here, we decided that we'd like Cody to fill in for him tonight. So what did you guys do in firearms? Because Chad here wrote some reviews and did yard work on long weekends.
I didn't get much accomplished because I've been dealing with a hurricane. So didn't do much. I did order a belt, though, a gun belt. So that's kind of cool.
You didn't shoot the hurricane, loser?
It didn't come close enough. It didn't come close enough this year.
That's because That's because you're using reduced loads.
I had a feeling that was coming.
You gotta get your 477 Shy-Tac micro out, man.
Yeah, right.
Well, I don't know. If it didn't come close enough this year, I guess that means last year you scared it off.
Yeah, I definitely. They actually did release, like the government actually released a thing, or like asking people not to shoot the hurricane. Like they had to legitimately do that.
So over the weekend, Labor Day weekend, I took advantage of some of the sales. Picked up some 9, caught that on sale. Picked up some parts from Timber Creek. Picked up a cool bayonet for my 870 shotgun. Because I got one from the Ohio National Guard that takes the same bayonet as the M16 did back in the day, so I was able to catch that because it's on sale for half price at Sportsman's Guide, which was awesome. And I bought a fourth something. I just can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, and I picked up an AR from Palmetto State that's going to be a giveaway to Patreon's subscribers eventually.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Zane, I do have a question for you, though. Did you see the post that I reposted for those Polymer 80s with slides complete?
I did see that.
Okay. Yeah. Just making sure.
Oh, yeah. Polymer 80s have completes also for like $99 with serial numbers on them for people who live in sucky states like mine.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got a gray frame sitting here ready to go.
Yeah, this was
nice.
From where was it? JSD Supply or something. I've met the guy. He's at SHOT Show. He had, I think, Labor Day sale was complete Polymer 80% frame, slide barrel, all the parts, everything you needed basically. I think they were like $400, $399.
Yeah, it's like $399. Just pretty good deal.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good deal if you don't suck at building 80%.
Well,
I tried one once, and
you tried the old school one.
Did you cut it in half, Zane? I feel like you brought it over to the drill press and put like 9 holes in it.
Drill press, Dremel.
Yeah, you're talking to Florida man, dude.
I'm sorry. All right, if we're being real, you don't have a Dremel. You just put 2 cinder blocks under your rear tire and lift it up since it hit the gas pedal.
Yeah, well, it's about what it looked like. I'm just waiting for a police buyback so I can take it and be like, hey, this is a firearm by definition of the law.
Mm-hmm.
My gift card.
Yep.
Yeah, to Walmart.
Awesome. Yeah, to Walmart. Go buy ammo.
Did you do anything cool, Cody?
Yeah, I did a couple things. Always working on the activism side, and got a couple coworkers to agree to go to the range with me. Which that's always awesome, especially some of the folks that are not fitting my same build and category of being a person, according to the rest of the interwebs. that's like the whole LGBTQ community that I work with, along with anybody who isn't white, quote unquote. Then on top of that, I also finally got to take out my PSA AK-47, the Gen
Nice.
2. I'm excited because that thing actually runs like a sewing machine. I was surprised. I was waiting for it to blow up my face.
Yeah, I
But,
kind of doubt that would happen, but
It's not what the internet says.
exactly.
Oh.
Internet says this thing was gonna balloon out like an Elmer Fudd.
oh well,
Kilt in the
hey,
streets.
It's gonna
Yep.
get me kilts everywhere by them groundhogs.
probably. Okay, well, now that you found out that those two guys did more than Zane and I combined, we'll get into the announcements. Bandwidth sponsor is our buddies over at Patriot Patch Co. They have some new patches for pre-order out, which is 100% pro gun. They got the 80s boombox patch and 3 choices of the lead delivery patch. So they got those, and then the patch of the month, of course, is Libertas, and so you can see it, have it, buy it, whatever. Join the patch of the month club. It's Lady Liberty with some brass knuckles, etc., etc. So if you want to check out firearm video content, you can go to Gun Streamers. Set up an account if you want to put your own stuff on there. I think they'll let pretty much anybody. And if you're shopping on Amazon, use our affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. I guess we should have a disclaimer today.
I'll do it.
You'll do
Tony's going to do it.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-host and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. This is not legal advice, nor should it be considered as such. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows when these idiots talk. If you think I'm giving you legal advice, boy, are you listening to the wrong show.
True that.
True that.
It's so true.
Yes, so true. Well, and like we said in the beginning, I do have a review for you guys. Amazing, I know. I actually got through 2 of them this week, and between doing this and doing that. And so we have another Glock slide because, hey, why not? This is a G17 slide. It is from Freedom Flag Products. They are in Nevada, if that helps you locate them. There's good pictures and article, of course, on the firearmsinsider.tv. This is not cut for a RMR or anything else. I purposely, when they ask, I was like, no, I actually want one without an optics cut. If you haven't heard of them, maybe go look them up. They did do a collaboration on this slide with Nevada Cerakote, and Nevada Cerakote did the camo job on it. For both of them, when they ask what model Cerakote I wanted, I left it up to both of them. So we got this particular slide and the Cerakote, of course, the gray camo. I just told Russ over there at Nevada Cerakote that I had a gray frame, and he's like, okay. And Freedom Flag sent over what they call track style. It's their track style slide. I'll go to explain it here in a second. It's a little difficult to describe. It's square like a Glock slide, but it's not the typical Glock slide. It's got some like oblong, straight up and down cuts here. I don't know, at the rear for cocking serrations. Rest of the slide, it has little kind of, I don't know, what did I call them? Mathematical shaped recesses kind of cut in. Now, I didn't mention in the review, but like these front ones actually line up with the cutouts in the front, where there's 2 angled cuts. There's 3 little slots at each one of them. I think maybe on the 19 slides there's 2, but I don't know for sure. Then there is a diamond shaped kind of cut on the top, and it has 2 slots also cut in it. You could probably put a compensated barrel in it and it probably would work. I don't know for sure, but it looks like it probably would. It is for Gen 3 frames. I have it on a Polymer 80. We were discussing before the show that Zane can't seem to drill holes and use a Dremel tool, but I can, which is nice. You can get 5. This is one of their standard cuts. They have 5 more different standard cuts on their website. So if you don't like this style, hey, choose something else. They also offer an RMR cut for $50 more, which, I can understand why people would do that. As you would probably expect from somebody making these slides, the machining is spot on. I looked it over left and right and upside down, did not find any machining marks except where they should be, which isn't anywhere really that you can see. Literally, there might be some inside, but I wasn't going to take it completely apart. Put the slide parts kit in it. I think I bought it at Brownells, would be my guess. All the parts went in great. Everything works smooth as butter, 0 problems there. I will say this is the second slide that they have sent me. Basically, that's why the review took so long, because I got one and they wanted it back. It had a tiny tool mark in these little angled cuts. Like, I didn't even notice it for quite a while. And then when I did, I was like, is this supposed to be there? Because I couldn't quite tell. And they're like, no. And they pretty much demanded I send it back. I'm like, I'm okay with it. But they wanted it back to make it right. I'm like, okay. So I sent it back, hey, now we're on to this one. And they were really apologetic about it. They're like, man, I don't know what happened. I'm surprised nobody caught it. And that's why it said they demanded it back. Pretty much, they're like, here's a call tag. I don't know if it's a new one or the same one. I suspect it's a new one. It's not like I have them side by side to compare. Now, the rear sight cut dovetail is spot on. Side blah, blah, can't speak today. The rear sight slid in fine, a little snug, no problems there. The front sight seemed a little loose, but I remember looking up these specs for the slotted hole that the Glock front sights use, and I measured it, and it was within the spec that Glock has. So I think it might have been this front sight. You could move it left to right, kind of twist it a little bit when I was putting it on, but who knows? And it's within specs, so you can't really say much. But all in all, they do an excellent machining job. And as I mentioned, all of Freedom Flag slides are Cerakoted, usually just one color. This one they sent to Nevada Cerakote because this is kind of a combo, review. Like I said, I told them to surprise me. They didn't let me down. They did a 4-color gray, black camo. Looks amazing. Colors are blended well. You can run your fingernail over them. You can't feel any where one's sticking up higher than the other. They did a really good job on it. Also, it's been in and out of the holster quite a few times actually, and it hasn't worn yet. One of my other slides is wore a little on the little corners, but this one is not. And like I said, Nevada Cerakote's pretty big in the market. They do all kinds of Cerakote for large name companies that show at SHOT Show. I know they've done builder sets for Aero Precision. They're factory trained, certified, and they do a good job. When I was looking at their prices, they don't really seem that astronomical compared to everybody else. They're right in the ballpark. So, hey, if you want something coated, go check them out. Especially like I believe if you get a polymer 80%er, you can have, if you don't machine it first, you can have them do the whole thing. And then you don't need an FFL to have it sent to. So I'll get back to the track style slide. It's actually, I really like it on my polymer 80. I purposely bought a G17 polymer 80 to put their first slide on. And of course, there it is. And this particular slide is super tight, super smooth. It's, you can't really see it in videos, but you can't even really move it side to side, just a tiny bit. It's super smooth when you rack the slide. When I first installed it, of course, because it was tight, you would get to about, right before it goes into battery and it would stop. It doesn't do that anymore. After about 50 rounds, that stopped. I did use, it has a Faxon barrel in it. Kind of nice. The gold goes nicely with it. Of course, you could get any other color for Faxon. Let's see, where am I? I don't think I've had any problems with ammo feeding, ammo function, anything like that with this. Using factory Glock mags or the Magpul mags. Geez, this slide now probably has 600 rounds through it, which may seem like a lot or may not seem like much, but that's what it's got on it. So, and it still works fine, still is not, loose, anything like that. Testament to the slide, barrel fit, all of that stuff. I did find something, because it is a blocky slide. The track slide fits. I have a couple of holsters it fits in. Both of them, it was really tight until I loosened the tension screw. And then they would go in fine. I think it's because of the squarish right at the front. It seemed like that it was kind of dragging when I tightened them up. Other than that, it hasn't worn the edges off, like I said. So it fit in two of the holsters I have. One is actually a polymer 80 17 size holster, and one is actually a one for a polymer 80 19 size. It's just open at the bottom, so it fits, and it worked fine in there also. So if you're in the market for a Glock slide, Freedom Flag does do a nice job, so you should check them out. They also make a slide that we've talked about on the podcast before that basically takes a 19 frame and converts it to a 17 length slide. It's a slide kind of like some of the other companies do. So you get the G17 length with a 19 frame. They make some AR-15, AR-10 products, muzzle brakes, stuff like that. So, go check these guys out. Freedom Flag Products or Nevada Cerakote, they both do good jobs. So I'll get into the Firearms Insider 8 key points. Claim to fame. Fully machined Glock Gen 3 slide with Cerakote. Target market. I guess anybody wanting a unique quality slide for their Glock or Glock style pistol. The features and benefits. This is the track style. It is designed for Gen 3 guns. It will not fit Gen 4. It is Cerakoted. You can get optional laser etching, engraving. It has tighter tolerance, increased accuracy, reliability, performance. They machine the whole thing from 4150 barrel steel. They manufacture it with tighter tolerances for the barrel lockup. Says accuracy will be greatly increased with a quality match barrel. It is 100% made in the USA. It is compatible with polymer 80 frames. As you can see, it is tested for function. Other options, colors, special colors, the other versions of the slide you can buy. there's a link to a review and what somebody's saying about it. Price point, standard slides are $249.99. This one is 400 as tested because the 4-color camo is about $150. They do 3-color camo for like 120 for slides. This is 4-color, so when I asked them, they said, "Yeah, it's about $150." I'm like, "Okay, sounds good to me." So $400 for a custom slide paint job and a custom slide sounds pretty reasonable to me. So if you need it now, pretty much Freedom Flag or Nevada Cerakote. And our rating: pros, tight slide to frame fit, good barrel lockup, custom finish. It is a unique design. The cons: the holster fit because it's square, and it does not have forward cocking serrations. Not that that's a huge problem for me, but for some people it might be. So I gave it a score of 8.5, which is great. And I'm sure somebody's going to have a question about it. So,
Well, I was checking out their site and ended up going, "Hey, how much for their A2 blast shield?" I was looking at the price because you said it's complete complete slide for like
no,
$279.
no, it's 250 stripped.
Okay.
Complete. It's like $400 is tested with the Cerakote on it.
Oh, okay, because that's still cheaper. What I was doing was looking, as I always do, to see how much it costs, and pretty much it's still cheaper than even buying a complete everything from other companies.
That's the thing is they're right in the middle of where, I mean, they're really where they should be. I mean, there are some less expensive slides out there. We know there's more expensive slides out there for stripped slides. So, and I'll attest to the quality of them. I mean, it's a nice slide. So,
And as far as 600 rounds, I find it funny because
it's not really
it's a
that much.
toss up. Well, because some people go, "Well, that's not a lot," and I'm like, "Well, our basic class is 200 rounds. Our basic handgun class is 200
Right.
rounds. Heck, even our NRA, basic pistol is almost that.
Right.
So I mean, 600 rounds, a few good range trips, or a competition, or a 2-day class, easy."
Yeah, and that's the thing is and it's because, like I said, I mean, the first one went back. I don't know how many rounds I had on it, and this one I actually have a good idea of. And to me, yeah, it's not that many. To some people, like you said, it might be a lot. Well, I'm not some people, so you know, if it's still cooking along, and after 5,000 rounds, which I'm pretty sure it will be. I don't know about the polymer 80 frame.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I have no clue. I don't know anybody who's put a lot of rounds through a polymer 80. I really didn't even bother looking it up. I
Yeah,
never, because I don't care that much. But I find 600 rounds is good enough. You find out if something sucks.
yeah. No, I mean, and that's kind of, I kind of figure, 500 rounds will at least tell me if it's gonna work good, or a couple hundred rounds, if it's giving you problems, you're gonna know.
Yep.
And that's kind of how I feel, but each their own.
I mean, sometimes I've even had a experience with a 39-2, and that thing I found out in 10 rounds. So the fact that they put 200 through it, or even 600, I mean, good on them, making sure that it's not gonna like jam up on you right away because of some weird tolerance. That's always a good thing to know, that they've put
No, I
some
put
effort
that
into
many.
it.
I put that
Oh,
much
you put
through.
that? Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
I think they just test them for function, so I'm guessing a couple rounds. But who knows? They probably fire a magazine through it. I didn't ask them. But they do test them for function. So, they put it on some slide they have there, and bang, bang, and yep, it works. So,
Well, I will say this, since you said you had a burr or a milling error, if you will, or a little crack in the slide there. I was just thinking about that because the way those slides are cut, The reason they probably wanted it back, besides, hey, you're doing a review on it, is it could have. There's a possibility the front of the slide could have been compromised.
No, I actually, it was, when you probably can't see it on here, but it was like right down here in the groove. Uh, you can, and what it looked like to me, since I know something about machining a little bit, it looked like their tool that they used had actually like chipped. And so it wasn't completely flat. And so it put a little line where it was spinning and they moved it, is what it looked like.
Gotcha.
It wasn't up by the front
Drag
sight.
line.
Yeah, it was like it literally looked like the tool was chipped to me, like the mill was chipped. But yeah. And so there is that. I guess now that we're done with that, we will get into the product spotlight and discussion, not reviews. Spotlight and discussion. And first up, for our buddy Zane and our buddy Tony, we put in the STI Staccato P with an MSRP of $19.99 to $24.99. And let me go through this. It's, STI International, if you didn't know. The Staccato P, 4.15 inch bull barrel. It's got a diamond-like carbon black finish. It comes with one flush fit and one extended magazine. The trigger, it's a 4.5 pound. It does have ambidextrous safety. Let's see here. It comes with Dawson Precision Perfect Impact sights. The front sight is fiber optic. The rear is their stealth charger, which basically means it's kind of got a reverse angle cut so you can rack it off stuff. Let's see. It is their tree bark stipple on their frame, which is a 2011 frame. If you didn't know, it is black. It has a recoil master. It's got a slim tactical mag rail, and it does have a 1913 Picatinny railed frame. You can get it in 9 or 45. It weighs 34 ounces, or you can get the Staccato P Duo, which is $24.99, and basically it is cut for a optics sight. And I weren't they saying something about they were going to cut it for others also, or was that just what's it say here? Oh wait,
it's cut
Dawson,
for a Delta Point.
No, it uses the Dawson Universal Optics System, designed to work with the Loophole Delta Point Pro, the Trigicon RMR, and others that use those mounting platforms.
Yet, in order to use the RMR, though, you have to use a plate. The Delta Point will mount directly to it and sit a little lower.
Are you sure? Because the picture I'm looking at has a little plate in there, it looks like.
That's what on another podcast they were saying.
I'm just going by the picture, okay? that could be. So that's a little questionable one way or the other. Not like bad questionable, just questionable.
We don't know. Yeah.
Right. And also it has suppressor height sights so you can co-witness with your optic. But everything else is the same. They wanted me to put this in here. I like STI guns, and I guess that's probably why I was like, it's just, when I first heard about it, I personally was like, it's just another STI gun. Okay, yeah, it's a little cheaper than some of their other guns. It does have a frame. It does have a place you can mount a light because it's got a rail. It is a full-length dust cover, which it does not say that, but it is. And it's got front and rear cocking serrations. It is the 1911 style, so if you don't like those, which you can get the great trigger pull out of them. I like it just because I've shot STIs and I really like STIs. But, this is now finally one that is reasonable compared to, I think the next cheapest one is like $3,000. And it's, yeah.
And the rest of their guns, along with most of the higher end guns, are more designed for competition, which means that you are kind of it's assumed that you're going to screw around with tuning your extractor and tuning your mags and doing things. This gun was kind of built for law enforcement, which means it ain't designed for you to go screwing with. It's supposed to work the way it out of the box, which I really appreciate, because the next tier of really well built guns, 1911s, I should say, 2011s, whatever you want to call them, the double stacked 1911s. You're getting into like Nighthawk and Wilson prices. So you're under $2,000 for a good, 9mm 1911. That what's the capacity on this thing? Like 19?
It could be 17, 21, and 27 or something like that. I looked up their magazines too and how much they hold.
I thought in 9mm, I thought it was like 19, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
And
what they do,
apparently they have like reasonably priced magazines coming out, so you won't have to spend $140 for magazines.
Yeah,
it's $45 for mags.
Yeah, which compared to their other mags were like you'd
100. Over 100.
Yeah.
If you could find them, and they're like $99.99 if you found them somewhere on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, their retail was like $120 or something.
And one of the things about their magazines, or at least their base plates, from what I heard from an interview, is that their Gen 1 mags you can still use, but they have an update kit. So that way you can keep the increased reliability of the Gen 2 mags without having to worry about like, oh, will this Gen 1 fit, work, and do I have to tune it?
Oh, so you can basically it's like a follower spring and base plate, and you can just drop it in the tube, so to speak.
Yeah.
So now I've shot, much like Chad, I've shot STIs. I shot their regular generation competition models. And then I shot the Combat Master, the John Wick gun. So those are pretty cool, and they were race guns. This is supposedly the duty gun that has like a 4-pound trigger. Look, they're just well-built guns, and they shoot really well. But when I've been watching everybody else's reviews of them, and pretty much to a person, they've had some issues with them because they have a break-in period, because you're dealing with tighter tolerances than you do with most other guns. And also they talked about the ammo you have to use. You can't use, the cheapest steel case, Russian steel case, or just bottom of the barrel ammo. And I've said over and over on this show, if it's expensive guns, it should be able to eat anything, because a cheap gun can. That's one of my issues with something like that. All of a sudden, you drop a bunch of money on something, and when the poop hits the fan, you got to go back to something else, because your high-end gun won't eat any ammo that you pick up, with your...
They may say that, but I know a guy who has an STI, not one of these, but their other ones, in 9mm, and he shoots steel case stuff all the time.
Good. then it works, because what I was getting from a couple of them was it wouldn't work unless they put like 124 in and shot 124 grain 9mm. Look, dude, your pistol should be able to eat anything.
Oh yeah, especially factory.
I don't disagree, but I think that's less of a concern with this gun, just because most police departments and sheriff's departments shoot one ammo, and that's what they shoot. Like,
I'm not talking about police and sheriff.
Well, but I mean, that's kind of what this gun's designed for. And like most of the cops, if they shoot 124 grain gold dots, that's what they shoot in training and qual and in their duty holsters, and so,
but usually,
which is wasteful.
Usually these guns don't stay just in police. I mean, if you wanted to talk about it, the Smith & Wesson M&P, even when it was a revolver, went to the civilian market and ran amok. So there's no reason to think this is only going to stay in the law enforcement market, especially, when it gets out there.
I mean, I won't. So I'm not a police.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a police either, but I'll take one of these. I don't know. I like their guns. They shoot well. Like the very first STI I shot was doing my NRA instructor course. One of the guys had one. And I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, well, how much is this thing? And he's like, well, after everything's said and done, it was about $5,000. And I'm like, take this gun and take that nonsense over there.
Yeah.
It's like, that is
And
no.
so what I kind of like about it is this gun's coming in priced about what the Gucci Glocks are coming in priced at, right? Like if you go get an agency Glock, this is about the same price range. So now I'm going to get a much better trigger, a much more forgiving trigger, where if I put some bad input on it, it's going to allow me to get away with, more stuff. If you got a perfect trigger press, it doesn't matter what your trigger is, but I don't think any of us have a perfect trigger. So I this brings it into the affordable category for me when it comes to 2011s, because I wanted a Nighthawk, but I'm like, man, dropping $4,500 on a pistol, a little outrageous. This brings this brings this into the affordable level for me, and apparently they have a really good first responder / mill / veteran discount kind of deal going on. So
Well, I listen to Steve Fisher a lot. I listen to a lot of other guys, converse with them, and ask about it. And yeah, this is getting into that price range where you get good 1911 type guns, like solid performers. Other stuff you can buy and then have another $1,000 to $2,000 worth of work done and get it up to that level. So this is kind of one-stop shopping. STI has been around for a long time. Before it was STI, it was something else. I think the company split or something weird, because I've been following these things for a while now when they were just competition pistols. They a lot of that stuff had to be tuned. You couldn't just buy it and shoot it like, a regular Joe. These were competition guns and needed to be tweaked all the time. Now they're getting away from that so much and having duty pistols. So I can't wait. I hope this thing takes off. I hope more people buy them, because, again, we're in that golden age of firearms development and civilian ownership. Even though they're trying to end it, it is freaking awesome that we have this many options. I mean, back in the day when Chad and I were kids, pretty much it was a Colt Gold Cup that you'd still have to buy and send out to get a bunch of work done to it.
But geez, they would
And
only round nose out of the box.
yeah,
if
that too.
you shoot a semi-wide cutter or something, you'd have to adjust them. Or
And you'd have to hand load.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who then came into the market. Was it like Springfield? I know Zane's going. Were they like this kind
No,
of this,
Kimber.
That's right. Yeah, it was Kimber.
Kimber came and just wrecked shop. Yeah. When Kimber was in Colorado, they did not suck. When Kimber was a new company, what they had was a bunch of gunsmithing students out there that worked on their guns. So all of a sudden you had these beautiful production guns that were just kicking the pants off of Colts, with their dependability and the accuracy. So that was that story and what happened. Oh, so I'm watching what's my man's Garand Thumb, and he's salivating over one of these, and I'm laughing at him because he's like, "Oh, these are it's a double stack 19." I'm like, double stack 1911s have been around since like 83, 84. Chief.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Para had them, back in the day.
Well, back in the day, Para was just a frame kit to start with.
Para was a frame kit only. So you would order that, and they would send you the frame, and then you'd have to source your slide and barrel and all of that. And I'm like, yeah, it's been around for a while, Chief, but it's real cute that you just discovered it and talking about it. I just thought it was funny.
The STIs do have an advantage. They are a modular frame. There's kind of like three pieces, like the slide rail piece. Then the grip isn't a module itself, so you can buy different grip modules. So like if this one, you can get like fatter ones or smaller ones. So if it doesn't quite fit your hand, there's stuff you can do. You can buy them with different stipple types on them. You could buy a red one if you really wanted. So,
and
go ahead.
That's one of the things that I actually wanted to touch on before we moved off of this, is that the replaceable grips. I don't know about anybody else, but I've broken a set of wood grips on a handgun before, and I've also, cracked a frame or two. Don't ask me how. I just have. So that's one of those things that I found cool is not only can you change the size, but if you break it, mess it up, your dog eats it, you can get that replaced, and it's not having to send out the entire gun.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I think they're like $250 or something, but you can get them, and it's not like you have to fork out another $2,000, for a
well,
whole
I'm wondering
frame.
where you get it replaced at because it's darn sure those parts aren't in their store.
Are you sure?
I'm looking at it.
Just go on the
Parts.
internet.
Probably just got to call.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Parts. Magazines. Check.
Yeah.
Nope.
Parts. A screw kit.
Ooh,
And
a screw kit.
Yeah, a grip
Yeah.
screw kit is their only part.
Well,
And the magazines, they only have the flush fit
yeah. Okay.
and
So
stuff.
I guess you just have to call them or get it somewhere else. But I mean, if you search for them, you can find them all the time. So who knows?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm not going to search all over the place. I was just looking at their site and just
Be on
see
their
you could
site,
get support from that. Yeah.
Right. But also in theory as well, you can get somebody else to manufacture a grip for it too.
Yeah. Probably even 3D print one if you're like tech savvy.
Tech savvy.
You mean you guys
Okay.
don't have one of those in your bathroom?
No, I keep it in the garage. What are you talking about?
No, I have mine there every time I need a glass of water at like 2 a.m. Just hit print and it prints me a new cup. And
There you go. Well, Zane, 2:00 in the morning, is usually drunk and drinking out of the toilet bowl.
Yeah, most likely.
Florida
Well,
man.
We're gonna get off the Staccato bandwagon now, and we're gonna move into a shotgun from CZ. It is the CZ 1012 shotgun. MSRP is $659. It's CZ. I don't know when they introduced this, but it wasn't too terribly long ago. Basically, it's gasless. It's an inertia operating system like other companies use to run the action, which is new for CZ. Let's see if it says anything else. Right as of right now, it only comes in like hunting versions. You can get, the regular, the bronze, the gray, or you can get them with synthetic stocks. 12 gauge, 4+1, 3-inch shells, 28-inch barrel, includes 5 chokes, full, improved, modified, improved choke and choke, or improved cylinder and cylinder. It's Turkish walnut. Length of pull is 14.5 inches. It's got an 8mm flat vent rib. It's 47 inches long, but it only weighs 6.5 pounds, which isn't all that bad for a full length shotgun. I thought I'd put this in there because I'm kind of glad they're doing an inertia system. They seem to work quite well. Now, like a lot of people in this podcast, I think if they made one of these in a like 20-inch barrel with like extra capacity, I think they'd have a big hit on their hands also. But that's just me. Other than that, if you're into sporting shotguns or just kind of shooting trap or clays or something on the side or hunting ducks or chuckers or whatever, I think it would be a good option for you, especially at the price.
Goosey.
That's what
Yeah,
I was
it's only
gonna say. I think this is a really good
$660.
price for an inertia-driven gun.
Where's he calling from? The moon?
Anyone? Is my
Earth to
sound
Zane.
terrible? All right, hang on.
I don't know. Put your tang down and get back to us, buddy.
Zane, can you get off the tin can?
Zane, I know your camera's off, but get off the toilet, will you?
So,
All right. How's that? That better?
No.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
All right, go ahead, man. We could hear you.
All right. I like. Is there anyone else that has an inertia-driven gun at this price point right now?
No.
I didn't think so. So, cool. not a huge shotgun guy when it comes to like sporting clays or whatever. I agree with Chad. You put a 12-inch length of pull and a 20-inch barrel and an 8-round tube on this, and now you have something I'm definitely interested in. I like the inertia-driven system because I can shoot my reduced recoil loads and it will still cycle. So there's that. Yeah, I think it's a very interesting thing. I'm sure it'll be fine being CZ. I don't think we're going to have any reliability problems out of it.
Yeah, I've shot CZ shotguns. Dude, the price is just crazy. Right now, Buds has it for $560. I mean, that's ridiculous because it's a frickin' CZ. I look at these things as they really do need to come out with a defensive shotgun version of this. They say they did a 5,000 round test, no cleaning, no anything, just 5,000 straight rounds through it, and it worked. It didn't stop running at all. This coming in and just kicking the snot out of the Beretta 1301 would be a good thing. Nothing's touching the Benelli because everybody's all in love with it because it's a military issue, but I could give a darn. Especially you got something like this that shoots smoothly and it weighs 6 pounds. You just can't go wrong with it. So I look forward to them coming out with the tactical version or a tactical version. They do it with almost everything else they sell, from their 22s to
Their Scorpions.
Yep, and even their bolt-action rifles, they have tactical versions of it. So hopefully this is on the docket. I forgot to call them today and actually ask about it. I mean, who knows? Don't ask, don't tell. I mean, they might be doing it and say something. So
Right.
I look forward to them developing this and this being big, huge.
Yeah, I kind of think so too. Cody, I think you were going to say something.
Yeah. So, I mean, two things. I had to look up what their inertia system was, specifically like how it worked. And it's like a delayed blowback, but with the barrel moving back. So for those of us who didn't know, that's how that functions, which is really cool because I'm a nerd like that. And the other thing is that I would love to know if their barrels are compatible with any of their other shotguns. Because if they are, I would just swap out the barrel and the stock because, somewhere along the lines, they're probably having parts compatibility. And if they didn't come out with a tactical version, I would just build my own in that sense.
Yeah, right.
Like, because I mean, otherwise for what is it, $659? Cut the barrel down, cut the stock down, throw a see all open sight on it, and if you can get an extension tube, put that on there, and you're done.
Actually, yeah, I just looked it up to try to find CZ extension tubes, and I don't know if it'll work. CZ did have a competition shotgun, and they canceled it back in the day. That obviously had extension tubes and everything, but it didn't have a lot of aftermarket support, and that's a problem because, but now with the CZ75 and the P10 and all that taking off. More people know about CZ now and the Bren gun and the Bren and everything else, so it might start selling more. It might be worth it.
You want to talk about them selling stuff? They're Scorpion. Like when that Evo hit the market, I bought one, and then that's the first firearm that's been imported that I've ever had more accessories built for it, 3D printed and injection molded, everything within a single year than anything else I've seen. So all the modern communities hit it and took it and ran with it. I'm hoping they're going to do the same thing with the shotgun here because I need a shotgun.
There you go.
Yeah, then we needed another player in the semi-automatic shotgun game. Honestly, especially with the tactical market pretty much dominated by, like you said, the Benelli or the Beretta. But even in the hunting world, I mean, you only have 3 or 4 people that offer a decent semi-automatic shotgun that I'm coming up with off the top of my head. So,
yeah, I mean, that has a good.
Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
No, that has a good reputation as their guns work all the time.
Benelli,
like the Versa.
Beretta.
Well, Benelli and Beretta nailed it. Everybody knows about those, but you still have, the Remington
gotta
But their
remember, too,
quality control.
1187 to
Yeah, the
their older
well, the
ones, but
1187
the newer ones.
is questionable.
Yep.
Then you got Weatherby, but their stuff is made in another country, and nobody really goes Weatherby shotguns. Winchester, again, their SX4.
Aren't they
I
out
don't
of
know
five
anything.
now?
Mossberg has
They're
a
out of Japan
930.
or Turkey. Mossberg 930, dude, I was not impressed by that. We had one of those out there when we were shooting clays also. Whoa, dude, blowing
I haven't
stuff in
shot
your
one.
face.
I love the 500s and the 590s, but I have not shot a 930.
I was not impressed by the 930 at all. And I mean, after that, I'm looking at different things. I'm like, Stoger. I didn't know Stoger made. I did know Stoger made shotguns, but semi-auto hunters, I didn't know that.
I did.
Yeah, they make. Oh, Stoger makes. Oh yeah, they make a competition like for 3-gun.
Yes, they do, and it's affordable.
Aren't they like a subset of like Benelli or something?
They're
I
owned by
think they.
Benelli.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess we can hope that CZ does what we want, but if not, for you hunters and other people out there with shotguns, it seems like a good price. Hopefully, it'll be a good gun for you. Go check it out. Next up is something odd.
Where did you even find this? Like,
Oh, this thing's awesome.
How did I find this? I'll tell you how I found this. Somehow I am on their email list for press releases, and I got this. I'm like, oh, what did Henry come out with? I'm like, garden gun. What's that? So MSRP is $421. What this is a smoothbore 22. Basically, it's still lever action. It has a black receiver instead of brass, but it is made specifically to shoot 22 long rifle shot shells. It has an 18.5-inch barrel, 15 round capacity. It's kind of a blackish walnut stock or something. It weighs 5.25 pounds. Overall length is 36.5 inches. It's for pest control like rats, gophers, stuff like that. Close range, you don't have to worry about over penetrating anything. Heck, I think you could probably stand right next to 2 feet away from a wall and shoot the sheetrock, and I don't know if it would go through. I'm just saying that, but for they even say it's a niche market for what they are doing. I can understand that. It does have a hooded blade front sight, fully adjustable rear. It's got a 3/8-inch groove receiver, so if you want to put like a 22 red dot on it, something like that, stuff like that. I don't know about the price, but the concept kind of makes sense. I mean, I've actually shot gophers with 22 shot shells when I was a kid. Because if you were facing the wrong direction towards like the house or the barn or something, you couldn't use a regular one, and it worked fine. So with this, you're going to get a better pattern because your shot isn't going to be like thrown in a weird spiral pattern or whatever.
I have a question about that. What is the average rifling on 22? Like 1 to 16?
It's 1 in 16 usually, I think.
Yeah. So, how much is the shot actually spinning coming out of a?
It
rifle?
trashes that shot, bro.
Oh,
it trashes it.
A 1 in 2, even a super slow twist is gonna deform the way the shot goes through it.
Well, 1 in 16 is pretty slow. Like that's kind of what I was getting at. Like that's
yeah.
Well, I
It
mean,
blows it right out, dude. It makes it useless.
I mean, have you ever seen like the Taurus Judge and like the Smith Wesson Governor?
Yeah,
Like
but they have a much faster twist, don't they? Those are running your standard.
Are they
a 45 Colt? Twist,
no, they're
right?
running more of like a straight, almost a straight rifling, just barely rifled, and you can see that it's always been throwing the shot all over the place. Like it's donut-sized holes of where the shot's
where
not
those
hitting.
things are stupid too.
Yeah. So
Right. But
this is in essence just something dedicated for rat shot, and to make rat shot pretty much 20 feet out, and you're gonna nail stuff without doing a bunch of damage to your crops,
It won't be
not being able to hit. Well, and also you don't have to worry about where that 22 round went after it goes through something, even the
Yeah.
22 short. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you live that farm life and you have, a 2,000 or 1,000 pound cow behind it. Now you just killed Bessie while shooting a freaking rat. Congratulations.
and
well,
if it even touches it, it's just they're going to think it's not even a fly unless you're
Yeah.
next to them.
speaking
Yeah,
of,
I definitely see like the use case for it, and I'm glad that even they acknowledge it's a very niche role.
Oh,
And I
very.
guess if you have that need, then this is. I don't. Is there anything else that does this for you? Like I don't
No.
think there's any. There's no other smoothbore 22 shotguns that I'm aware of.
No,
This is a
No.
shotgun. I'm assuming by law, right?
I don't,
Yeah, it just has no rifling.
Right.
and it's not doesn't have lands and grooves like some other SBR type thing.
The recreate whatever that.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever.
I will say there is another. I can see another purpose for something like this. Like if you have to crawl underneath a house, but there's something that you might need to like put down that's not huge, but not like a rat. Like you're exterminating down there, and you could shoot it probably under a house and not hurt anything.
Well, I
Well,
guess for all of you people that can fit under a house, that would make sense.
That would be Zane, I think. I don't know. About you.
no,
I'm a little
I
guy.
couldn't fit. But there is another use for this. Besides the like, hey, teaching kids and stuff like that, trigger control. In Pennsylvania here, we have what's called the spotted lanternfly, and having this along with like a assault shot shell is great for pest control, especially in the very heavily housed areas like I live. So this would be great for pest control to come in and actually help exterminate all these spotted lanternflies that are just killing and eating the trees without having to put a bunch of chemicals out and like harming folks' pets and crops and any kind of
Because
gardens.
I guess it's like if it's in a tree and you're shooting at it,
Oh, no,
the shot's not gonna. I don't even know if you'd hear it landing on a roof or anything.
right,
Probably
right.
not.
I mean,
The tree would stop it probably anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a cool idea, but I'm probably not going to buy one. But hey, I knew Zane wouldn't like it.
Oh, dude, that's hilarious. Anything. What does Zane hate more than 22s? A 22 dedicated to only shooting rat shots.
right. But the reduced recoil loads for him.
That is true. It's reduced recoil load, so you should like it for a little bit.
No,
It's a reduced recoil shotgun load.
No, it's not.
Yeah, your nipples should be all hard for this right now.
Jeez.
Negative.
And it's a lever gun, so you should get your cowboy on.
Nope.
Yeah, you already carry a revolver there, Tex.
Where's your hat?
Yeah,
Actually, I do have a cowboy hat somewhere.
Of course you do.
and a tinfoil one too.
Of course you do. They like them at them bars that you go to. I can't quit
Oh
you.
man.
Yeah, how far?
That's hilarious.
Does it have a rattlesnake wrap around the hat? Please tell me it does.
Of course it does.
No.
Yeah. Well, no,
Definitely not.
you didn't have this gun to shoot the rattlesnake with.
Hold on.
But-
Is it pink and have glitter on it? Is
But
it pink and covered in glitter?
The next rattlesnake I shoot will definitely be going on my hat. And just for, I shoot rattlesnakes with 9mm because I actually know how to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
People,
Whatever you-
people use that's what folks, snakes is what people use to justify like their tourist judge purpose. Like, it's good for snakes. I'm like, so is a Glock 17 if you know how to shoot.
22
Yes.
Whatever.
regular 22 pistols work great for snakes.
22s work great. You don't
They do
That's
as well. But
hilarious.
I don't want somebody else
hilarious.
shooting me in my side as I'm walking down the trail.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we've pretty much beat that dead horse. So We will get in. We have some listener feedback. It was actually on Facebook. And until he informed me of it, there was no button to leave feedback on our Facebook page. There is now, by the way. So you can leave feedback there. This is from William C. It says, "You guys are incredible." I think he's talking about me, but whatever. The way you guys add humor to realistic reviews and accurate firsthand experiences is definitely a group that makes the listener come back for more. Honestly and comical, but professional criticism. It's written a little weird. Keep it coming. Been a huge fan for a few years. That's pretty much it. Well, thanks, William.
We appreciate that, William.
We do. You guys, we didn't have any iTunes reviews or anything, so
Wait,
Hold on. No.
Hold on a second.
Yeah,
William C.
pump the brakes, cuz.
That's not Bill Clinton, right? 'Cause I don't know nothing.
no, it's not Bill Clinton.
Well, listen, he didn't have to listen to more than one show to realize you don't know anything. And let's give Will C some props, because if he would have said you guys suck onions, we'd talk about it for 20 minutes. So thank you for taking the time out to actually
Tony wants to go listen to some podcast or something.
What was that?
Tony wants to listen to some podcast. He's in a hurry.
I want to listen to a good podcast and get off of this hot mess with you losing.
Well, definitely not
Hey,
a
this is-
podcast.
You know what? I'll close the fan club. I will close the fan
Oh, he's gonna close.
Oh, I forgot about the fan club.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot. Yeah. What fan club?
The 2 Alpha for Echo fan club.
Oh, well, if you listen to 2A4E, you realize I have no memory, and I'd forgotten about the fan club because I have the memory of a goldfish. Speaking of, one more thing that I did in Firearms this weekend that I forgot to tell you guys about. I watched John Wick 2.
I love that movie.
Dude, I'd
Good
never
movie.
seen it. I'd never
Good
seen it.
movie.
I was waiting, and I'm like, holy crud, that's actually a good. The movie was over. I looked at my wife and went, that was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
A lot of gun porn.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
really making me thinking about building a Glock 34.
The first one made me buy a VP9 because I couldn't afford a P30.
Yeah.
Nah. I was looking at P30s too, like, because I got the CZ P07, so it's like, yeah, I got double action, single action already, or why not make that move? But yeah, it was really cool. I just never seen it, and I look forward to waiting another 2 years before I watch John Wick 3.
Yeah. Well, Tony, you know what time it is?
It's time for me to start talking about the October 17th diversity shoot.
Yes.
Because that's when the next one is. It's on October 17th at Gun for Hire Range in Woodland Park. Be there or be square. But you know what else is happening is really cool, right? Whenever Patreon gets around to paying me so I could see who actually donated and who just said they were, we can go ahead and pick a winner for that CZ P10 the Yankees going to buy somebody. So I can't wait for that to happen. I'm a little geeked up about it. A lot of people came through. I'll go ahead and tell you guys on this show. I'm just afraid to announce it on Patreon because you never know what happens. I have an AR.
They've been having some anti-gun actions there.
Well, I don't know if it's anti-gun or anti-John from the Gun Collector.
Gun collectors.
But yeah, I mean, of course, John's a friend of mine, and I like him, and I like the work he does. But I have no idea what went down. I've been told that Patreon is an anti-gun. Whatever. I'm just being on the safe side. But yeah, we have that AR build that took a year that almost everybody in the show except Zane participated in, and sent us parts. And it's pretty cool.
Everybody but Zaid.
Oh, did I say that out loud?
Oh,
What'd I do?
Oh well,
Nothing. You did absolutely nothing. So
You didn't get that A2 grip?
never mind. I can't even argue because, again, memory like a goldfish. He might have sent me an A2 grip.
look, I didn't send you anything, so I didn't support that. So
Yeah, that's all right. You support us now. Anyway, you can support us too by going to Patreon. Again, $20 and above are going to be the guys who are going to qualify for this giveaway. It's probably going to happen in November, if not sooner. I'm just trying to line stuff up so we have a steady stream of firearms to give away to our $20 and above patrons. And I don't want to be broke. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just be hoping from one month to the next we can afford this. I want to set it up so it can be a guaranteed thing. Also, if you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, 2A4E, Second is for Everyone Diversity Podcast, is just opening up the Second Amendment and firearms culture to all people, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, or background. We're trying to kill this lie that the media keeps perpetrating, that all gun owners are just racists that hate everybody else. All right, so that's what we do. You can support us on diversityshoot.com, and we have all the ways to donate to us there. We're also on PayPal at simonsays@yahoo.com. You can donate there. And you can listen to our podcast, 2A4E Podcast, on your favorite podcast app. So that's it. I know it went a little long, but I wanted some explaining to do and let people know what was going on with the giveaway and future giveaways.
Awesome. So send questions, comments, feedback to gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe. Leave us an iTunes review. We haven't had one in a while, so we need 1 or 10. Check out all the other great shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews. Check out us on Facebook and Instagram at Firearms Insider. And thank you for listening to the largest pound-for-pound podcast on the network, and we are out.
Bye, Felicia.
Awesome. Sean's fan did him well.
Sean's protege.
How do I stop this stuff?
How do I stop this stupid
I
thing?
just like